a Tottenham update for you guys today. And the first story we've got to you is about Conor Gallagher once again, as Sammy Mockbell says that Tottenham and other Premier League clubs are monitoring the situation of Conor Gallagher closely with a view of launching a summer move for the midfielder if progress over the new contract with Chelsea continues to be halted as the player heads towards his last 12 months of his current deal. But Gallagher, who was raised as a Chelsea supporter, is yet to seriously contemplate a move away from Stamford Bridge and is prioritised staying with his boyhood club. However, Chelsea will want a minimum of £50 million for Gallagher if they were to sell, even if there are only 12 months left on his contract. I've said it time and time again, I don't really see this deal happening, and I don't really see that much of a space or a gap for him in the squad right now anyway.
I think I see a bit of a gap in terms of, depending on where we see Bentancur, can he be that number 8 in our midfield battling with Papa Sarr? I think that's what we want him for, and I do think he's perfect for that role. But I think there's just so many moving parts, as we've said so often. We know Gallagher is a massive Chelsea fan. We know that he's probably waiting for a better deal right now anyway. Is he going to get more money at Tottenham than he would have gotten if he rejects a deal at Chelsea? I don't think so. So that all points in the direction that it's very unlikely that any deal does get done. But if his contract situation does continue to rumble on, and maybe Tottenham are more willing than I think they are to, give him decent wages, then maybe there is a deal to be done. But I just think all those things coming together are just too unlikely.
I prefer to see Chelsea struggle with FFP, to be honest, and give them a get out of jail free card with money, with pure profit for Conor Gallagher. To be honest, how sweet would it be to see Chelsea drop a few points next year, or get docked a few points next year?
Wouldn't mind that, especially if Poch are already under pressure. If he starts next season with a 10-point deduction, when he'll be sacked before the season starts.
Exactly.
Poch has got us on -10. How could he?
That would be great to see. I mean, look, I think anyone that signs Conor Gallagher, they're lucky. They've got a good player on their hands. I think he really is proving his worth at the moment, in the last month or so, providing some clutch moments for Chelsea. But I know Bentancur can play that 6 role, but I just much prefer him in the 8 role. I think he's much more used to it and much more adept to playing that role. I think we need in this summer, the midfielder that we're going to bring in, it has to be an out-and-out number 6, in my opinion.
I tell you where he would be a very good signing would be if he went to Liverpool. I think he'd really, well, actually, depending on who the new manager is, but I know under Klopp he would be a great signing. But other than that, I don't see too many clubs stumping up that kind of money for him. It's going to be difficult. I don't think City will go for it. Maybe United, but is he going to go to United? I guess Mount went there, but I don't know. There's not that many clubs putting the money up for him. I do think he'll end up staying.
Yeah, it just depends on how much they actually need the money. Are they going to sign the contract with him when how desperate they are to bring in the money because of FFP? I think if FFP wasn't in question here, I think it would be certainty that he'd be staying. But the FFP has brought all these questions up. That's why we're talking about him.
Maybe Newcastle. Newcastle's could be a decent option, but again, they're not in a great position with FFP. So, in terms of clubs who can afford him, I mean, apart from Tottenham, there's not too many.
Would you think that potentially a Man City could go for him?
I don't know. Depends. Will they cut their losses with Núñez after a year? Maybe, I don't
Probably
know.
But
I think I don't think they're desperate to spend 50 million on Gallagher.
I agree. But I was looking at the FFP kind of standings a couple of nights ago, and Spurs and Man City are by clear the two that can spend the most amount of money this summer without being in any sort of danger of it. Yeah, but they're really stacked in midfield, aren't they, Man City? So I can't. Yeah, you're probably right. I can't see that going on. But let's finish off talking about the London Awards last night. And Spurs had 2 winners at the London Awards. And we'll first start talking about the Manager of the Year, as Ange Postecoglou has been named as Manager of the Year at the London Football Awards. He was up against Moyes, Arteta, Wellens of Leyton Orient, and Emma Hayes of Chelsea women's team as well. Ange Postecoglou was talking after. We've got an interview to bring you, which I guess we'll bring you both at the same time, and we'll talk about the Goalkeeper Award as well, as Vicario won Goalkeeper of the Award at the London Awards. The other nominees were Areola Leno, Mackenzie Arnold, and Sam Johnston. So it's such a strange awards, these London Awards. Like, they're bringing up season-long awards in March. Doesn't really make too much. February doesn't really make much sense.
Absolutely no sense. I don't understand what is the point of this award. I think Ange alluded to it as well in his interview, which we'll see in a minute. But I don't get it. I don't get why they're giving out awards now if it's for the year. If it's not going to include last year. I understand if it's January last year to January, like if you're taking the whole of 2023, okay, that kind of makes sense, but they're not really anything that happened last season into account. So you're literally giving a manager of the last 7 months award. It's very, very odd. I don't really understand it at all. Maybe it's manager of the year from January to February, manager of the month, essentially, and saying year. I don't know. I don't really understand. Well, the first thing he said was it's bizarre, which I think we definitely have to. It's
bizarre.
Definitely bizarre. It's really odd. I don't get it. Why not just give these awards out later in the season? Why give them out now?
Or why not just do it for the last 12 months instead of just this season?
All that. But in terms of, if we're taking the award at face value, the best manager in a London manager from the beginning of the season to now, does Ange deserve it?
No comment.
Why not? Why not?
Because Mikel Arteta is in a title challenge and Ange Postecoglou is in a top four challenge.
But Postecoglou, okay, where was Arteta after the same amount of time that Ange was?
He was 8th.
Yeah.
He finished 8th anyway. I don't know where he was at this point in the season.
He was on 37 points.
But this isn't a comparison between Mikel Arteta and Ange Postecoglou.
Who's doing a better job under the circumstances?
I think Ange has started life better at Spurs than Arteta started life better at Arsenal, but that's not the question here. The question is who is doing a better job or who has been the best manager from the start of the season till now.
Yeah.
And I think it pains me to say I think Arteta has done a better job because he's fighting with the best in the league.
Yeah, but that's what he did last season. So that's where Arsenal are at the moment in terms of like Arsenal are actually 6 points down as where they were last season. So, and Tottenham have made him a massive, not massive actually, but it's I don't know, we're 2 points better off than we were last season. But obviously last season we finished 8th. We're now in a top 4 race. In Ange's first few months, we lost Harry Kane as well, and we're playing, good football. So is there not a case there to say it's not who's doing better in the league, it's who's under the circumstances doing a better job for their club so far this season? I think there's a credible case to say that Arteta was in a title challenge. In fact, Arteta was leading the league probably at this point last season, and they're worse off in terms of position they were. And Ange has really changed things around for Tottenham and really improved them in a different way.
Yeah, that's 100% spot on. But I think who you're looking at, who is doing a better job this season, it has to be Arteta because of what they're doing this season. They could realistically win the league, to be honest, and they're looking unbelievable. They're looking like the best team in the league over the past 5-6 games. I know the award isn't only about the last 5-6 games, but even when they have been playing poorly this season, they've been getting consistent results. And Ange Postecoglou, since the first 10 games, we haven't been consistently playing well throughout the whole season, in my opinion. So I think, as much as it pains me to say it, I think Arteta's doing a better job right now.
I mean, I don't think you would have said that 5 games ago about Arsenal playing consistently well.
I never said they've been playing consistently well. I've been saying they've been getting consistent results.
And we're still, 5th?
Fifth,
so we're getting consistent results as well.
But not as consistent as them.
Yeah, but they're in a different, as I said, they're in a different position. They were title challengers last year. That's where they're expected to be. We're not expected to be where we are, potentially.
Well, I think most Spurs fans would have said where we expect to be is probably 5th or 6th at the beginning of the season.
Spurs fans maybe, but we were called deluded for saying we're going to finish 5th at the beginning of the season.
But that's our own expectations, 5th or 6th. That's what we're at right now.
Arsenal were in the title challenge, and then they spent 100 million on Rice.
Yeah,
right? And they expected to be in a title race.
Well, I didn't think Arsenal were going to be in a title race this season. We both did our predictions.
Arsenal fans did.
A lot of them did. A lot of them didn't.
Most did.
Coming into the season, when we did our predictions, we didn't even put Arsenal in a title race. We said it's a shootout between Man City and Liverpool.
I said that. You didn't.
I said Arsenal 3rd.
Yeah, you said Arsenal. At the beginning of the season, before we saw a few games, you said Arsenal will be in a title race with City.
No, I said Arsenal 3rd if you look at the predictions.
No, I remember. You put Arsenal 2nd.
No, I put Liverpool 2nd.
I put Liverpool 2nd.
I know, we both did.
No, we didn't. We didn't. Anyway. Yeah, I remember. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
You remember wrong.
No, I don't. You look back at I'm saying not that we did a second prediction That was when you put Liverpool second.
Is that right?
Yeah. It was when the first one, right at the start, before we saw a game, that was when we said Arsenal in the title race.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is, I think Arteta has been doing a better job this season. I think that's just clear for all to see.
Well, I think there's an argument to be made. I'd probably go side with Arteta anyway after all that, but I'm saying.
So what was the whole point?
I'm saying there's an argument to say that under the circumstances, I'm just putting forward the argument that Ange. You could easily say that Ange deserved it, and look, he won the award.
Ange is doing a brilliant job. There's no getting away from the fact he's doing a brilliant job. Just Arteta is doing a better job right now. That's just clear for everyone to see.
He's higher in the league, that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, Vicario, we're not going to see what he had to say. Does he deserve goalkeeper of the year so far when you're looking at the other keepers? I think he does, to be fair. Areola, Leno, Mackenzie Arnold, who's in the Women's League, and Sam Johnston. I mean, Vicario definitely should top that pile.
Yeah. I mean, interesting, there's no Arsenal keeper there, but I guess who would it be? Raya? Or who's the other one? Ramsdale? Can't put either of them there. No. I think other than that, Vicario is well ahead of all the others. So he's been brilliant this season. But again, these awards are just so silly. I don't understand them. I don't get it.
They don't make sense.
No.
But yeah, that's it from our Tottenham update.